Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to make the hatching chick and Easter bunny cake pops using my little cake pop mold. First, let me show you some supplies that you're going to need really quick. I'm going to use a little bit of a close-up. First of all, I have a piece of white fondant here I'm going to use for his ears for the Easter bunny. Also for the Easter bunny, I set aside all the supplies in my little cup that I'm going to need for him. And what's inside here are just some marshmallows, mini marshmallows, that you can take and cut in half for his feet, his all 4 feet. So you're only going to need 2 of these, and you're going to cut it in half. Then we have some micro marshmallows that we're going to use for his nose area. And also for his nose area, if you have these little heart sprinkles, pick out a pink one for that. So we're just going to need 2 of these little marshmallows and a pink heart-shaped sprinkle. And last, I made his bow tie just like this. I made his bow tie using blue candy melts and my Martha Stewart silicone mold. For your hatching chick, oh, also, I have a little piece of pink fondant. Where did it go? Of course, it disappeared. But anyway, I took a piece of pink fondant that I rolled out, and I just used a knife and I cut these triangular shapes to put inside his ears after we dip him. So you'll need 2 of those, 2 pink pieces of fondant, or if you don't have fondant or don't want to use fondant, you can always use your candy melts to pipe on the pink inside of his ears. For the chick, very simple. We have a bow and a nose, and I made my bow using my mold from Lolly Cakes by Ella that I won, just like that. When you're using your molds, you want to probably use a bottle or a baggie with the, cut the corner ends to fill it, because it's easier that way than trying to pour it from your mug or a spoon. It looks better when you do it through piping into your mold. And then you want to put them in the freezer and let them sit in there for a little bit. That's how I made my bows. So, and then also for her beak, if you see these sprinkles anywhere, like Michael's or AC Moore, sorry about that. Pick an orange one or a yellow one, whatever you want to use for her beak. Then, of course, you're going to need your white chocolate. We're going to use for both. And we're going to need yellow for the chick. She's going to get a second dip in the chocolate. And then some black, melted black for the eyes. Okay? Then, of course, I'm going to move you up. We're going to need to either hand shape our cake pop, which I don't like to do. I don't want to call it lazy, but I want to say it's easier that the mold makes this one piece and the neck is pretty secure on here for when you're dipping, rather than rolling 2 separate pieces, which I'll show you real quick how to do with my cake pop dough, because I'm going to show you, if you haven't seen the My Little Cake Pop mold, how to use it. Or maybe you already do because you have one. Hopefully you pick one up, or pick up the set, because they're really cool. You can use them for a lot of different things. I'll leave the link to My Little Cake Pop's website in my description so that you can go over there and see what she has for you. But this is what I use. The snowman mold. It's not just a snowman. I used it for my Easter bunny. I used it for my hatching chick. You can use it for a lot of different things. I made a baby once out of this. So you're just going to take a little blob, roll it up. This has already been chilled dough, but you can use fresh dough. Either way, you want to make sure it's smooth and kind of roll it maybe into a cylinder like this. And then just place it in the mold. Just like that. Close it up, and whatever's extra is going to just come out anyway. So squeeze it closed, give it a good press, and then see all the extra, it comes off. When you pop it out, it should be a nice smooth one-piece cake pop. Ready to put the stick in. And I am going to put a stick in this one, even though I have 2 ready for me right here, because I'm going to try something else. Maybe do another video after this one. The head's a little flat. I probably should have put a little more in there, but you can just quickly reshape what you have an issue with. And I mean, I just really like this because, like I said, the head's already secured on there. I'm going to grab my stick. here's my extra stick. I'm going to dip it in here. This is how we're going to dip it. Dip a little bit into your candy melts. Okay, and then right in the bottom, just give it a little twist. Push it up. And she is ready to sit and let her seal dry. Or, if you're going to do this right away, you would want to put it in the freezer just for a few minutes, just so that you know it's firm and ready to be dipped. Normally, with my cake balls that I roll, I don't freeze them. But when I make shapes, I kind of give them a little freezer time so that I know they're not going to go off. And like I've said before, you can easily fix a crack rather than trying to save your cake ball from falling off the stick. Okay, real quick. If you don't have a mold, normally I would scoop this because I like everything to be the same size. I don't have my scoop with me right now, so what I'm going to do is show you really quickly. Just take a little bit, roll it really good. You can do this with your bunny, you can do this with your chick, you can do this with whatever 2-part cake pop you need to make. You're going to roll one ball, take another one a little bit smaller, not too small. You don't want a teeny tiny head. So, yeah, this one's okay. So I took a little bit more, roll that out. And what you would do is put a little bit of chocolate on your, with a toothpick, put a little bit of chocolate on the bottom of it, and then just stick it right on top. And so you kind of have the same thing. My fear is that the head's always going to fall off. So you would put that, after you put the chocolate on it, you would put that on your stick and into the freezer so that you can try to secure it a little more from falling off when you dip it. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's get right into dipping the bunny and the chick. Both of them are going to, actually first, we have to make the ears. Because this time, last time I put my ears on after I dipped and sugared him, which is another thing I forgot to tell you. You're going to need some white sanding sugar. And yellow too, if you want to dip, put some yellow on your chick, but you can also use white because you're dipping it in yellow. We're going to make the ears. I want to put the ears on first before I sugar this time. I haven't done this before. It should be fine. So you're just going to take a little piece of fondant, or you can use marshmallow, whatever moldable, edible substance you would like to make some triangular shaped ears. Let's just roll it and like pat it and shape it like that. See how I did that? Now normally, if this was something I was making for somebody, I would let this sit out for a couple hours. Not sit out, I mean I would cover it with some wax paper. Well, you want to let it air dry because you kind of want them to get a little harder so they don't bend or flop. Actually, Tootsie Roll is really difficult with that. Tootsie Roll never gets hardened. It's great when it's great when you use it for something that doesn't have to be sturdy, like hair that kind of falls and hangs like that, but for it to try and stay firm, it's really hard. So fondant is great for that. You know, you can even take the ear and you can bend it over like that. That's cute. I'm going to do that. I don't know how it's going to work, but see what I did? I just kind of put the corner over like that, so his ear's going to have a little flop to it. Do the second one. Roll it out. Make it flat. And shape the triangle. And we're going to pat it so it's a little flat on the bottom for when you put it on his head. So I'm going to do the same thing for this here. I'm just going to do a little flat. So now his ears are kind of going to be like folded over when I put them on his head. I hope they're not too big, but that's okay. Easter Bunny ears are kind of big. So let's dip them right away before it gets a little warm in here. I have my windows open. It's such a pretty day out. So this is our chick. All she needs to do is go right in for a dip. Take her out right away. Pat her off. Pat off all the extra. Have your toothpicks ready for air bubbles, which already, of course, there are air bubbles. Sometimes you can just pat the air bubbles right off. Sometimes you got a giant one, like this one right here in her neck. Oh my goodness. See this? That's a giant one. Now what I'm going to do is cover that up with some more candy. that's what happens sometimes with the neck. You can kind of get air trapped under there, and you want to make sure you pop it and tap it all off so that it doesn't open up later. Now we're going to keep tapping. So they're both going to get dipped in white. The chick, when she's all dry, we're going to come back and dip her in the yellow. Oh, I forgot. No, I don't forget. I really try to get a lot of things ready before I do this, but sometimes I forget stuff. Okay. Now, I really don't like to sit either. I'm a stander with this stuff. All right, Chickie. Chickie's ready. She's going to dry while we work on the bunny. And with the bunny, we're going to need our sugar right away, and we're going to need our ears right away, and we're going to need our little pink triangles for his ears too, because I'm going to put, oh no, oh man, oh, that's the nose. Okay. So we have the things we need right away, because right after we dip him, he's going to need some things put on right away before the white dries, because I'm going to double dip him. And then actually, yeah, I'm going to put that over there because I'm going to forget. So he's kind of on like an angle I put a stick in, so he kind of looks like he's ready to jump. So that's the only difference between these two. I put her stick straight in and his on an angle. So dip him, give him a little twist around, pull him out right away, tap off, and he already feels, I put him in the freezer, he feels like he's going to flop right off this stick. I don't trust him. So, the ears, yeah, they look kind of big, but they'll be alright. You want to get the ears on before he dries, so tap off as much as you can, as quick as you can. Oh man, there's a giant air bubble. The air bubbles like to come out, the giant ones, around the neck, because there's that little crease there. Okay, so I'm going to have him face me so that I can get his ears on right. So I'm just going to put both of his ears on just like that and hold them until they dry. And yes, this could take a little while, but they have to stay. So just be patient. Maybe you have a little fan that you can use to keep the chocolate, to make the chocolate dry quicker. Okay. Okay, I can't breathe. Okay, that works. So, I'm not going to touch him. I'm going to let him rest just like that until he's completely dry. And guess what? Because it's a little warm in here today, because spring finally came, the chick is even taking a long time to dry. So, what we're going to do is, first let's turn around and look at him. Oh my goodness, look how cute he is. Now we're going to take him and do a second dip. And the next dip is when we're going to quickly put on the pink in his ears and then quickly cover him with sugars before they dry, which I don't think we're going to have a problem with because these guys are not drying. So let's make sure that the yellow is ready because we're going to dip the chick second half next. All right, Missy, what is taking so long? So let's put away the piece of fondant that we have here so that that doesn't dry on. I have that for next time. Okay. I never put my cake pops in the refrigerator to dry because when I first started doing this, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I read Bakerella's book. I fell in love. I wanted to do this. I thought it was great. But then it was like summertime, so I was dipping them and I would put them in the refrigerator to dry because it would take a while. And when I took them out after they were dry, there would be like a condensation on them, and I don't like that because it's sticky and it's yucky and it looks stupid. So, I mean, I don't like to put them in the refrigerator to dry, so you really want to just be patient with them and let them dry on their own. Unless you can store your cake pops in the refrigerator, but I heard that you need to have them wrapped. Maybe in the plastic bag that you wrap your cake pops with, or put them in a container. Just as long as they're sealed. Don't put them in the refrigerator unwrapped, because that was my luck with them. I don't know about you guys, but alright, she is almost done. We're going to move him up so you can look at him. Now we're going to take her and give her a quick dip into the yellow. What you're going to do is dip. I'm going to touch her. Am I going to regret this? Oh no, she's good. Okay, she just looks shiny. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to dip to about here. You're going to go past her neck and a little bit into her body so that she looks like she's coming out of the egg. So go all the way in, past her neck, into the body, bring her out, and give her a tap. Just like this. Tap it off upside down, because now she's secured on the cake pop. She should not fall into this bowl or to this mug of candy melts, unless you're in a really, really, really warm area and you have temperature issues, and she's just going to come off the stick. So now I'm turning her sideways so that everything can run off. Here's an air bubble. You want to pop that. The majority's off, so I'm turning her sideways. Now I'm going to turn her up, give her a pat this way. And before she can dry, so here, do you see the separation? We're going to put her fur on. So quickly pour that over. You can also use yellow if you have that and you want a little bit of a darker color. I just used white this time just to be easy. Cover her completely with sanding sugar. So now she has a nice sparkly fur look. Just like that. Now we're going to let that dry a little bit, and while we're doing that, we're going to use the black to put her eyes on. And I just use some black with the toothpick. Right in the middle. You know where to place eyes. Just going to put a dab. Just like that. And another dab. With my toothpick, I would recommend the toothpick rather than a piping bag, because you never know, unless you have excellent control of your piping, because I don't. And I would squirt that black all over her face. There's another eye. The eyes are hard on a sugared cake pop. When I do the eyelashes, it's alright. It's just the sugar makes it very difficult to get the look you want, but if you're going to do the eyelashes, make sure you get nice, long, thin strings of black. And I'm going to do this side. Oh my gosh, that's too long. You don't want them too long, because then they'll be... Sorry, I don't breathe when I do this. I like hold my breath because I'm afraid what will happen. You would think I'm in the rainforest here. Okay, so there's some eyelashes. She looks cute. Let's put on her beak. She's pretty easy. Put on her beak. I already have an orange sprinkle picked out for her beak. Just take a little bit of your yellow. Dab that on her, right between her eyes, right below and between her eyes. You could also do this before you sugar her. if it's easier for you, because then you don't have to hold it as long as you do right now. Actually, no, because of the temperature. Okay, see? There's her beak. One last thing is her bow. Take some more yellow and just make a nice plop on the top of her head. Just like that. And we're going to put her bow on and hold that. Oh. Actually, we're not going to have it stand up. We're just going to let it lay down just like that. Actually, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to get a little bit of lift. But the problem is, my fingers are melting the chocolate. Uh-oh. Oh. Wow, what a warm chick. Alright, she needs to dry a little bit. While she's drying, we're going to get ready to do her cracked shell. And again, I use a toothpick for better control. If you want, and you can do it, you can use a piping bag or bottle, baggie, whatever you like. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this bunny next because he's all dry. And I'm just anxious to get him dipped again and covered. So, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous about his ears. And I'm touching the bottom of the mug. Okay, I'm gonna lay him down. I'm not gonna do him straight down. I'm gonna lay him down, and I'm gonna then pick him up and give him another. Unless no, I'm gonna fully submerge him like kind of laid down. So this is a good thing about a mug. You can grab it by the handle and take it to the edge as you know, as much as you possibly can. So I'm gonna lay him in there and submerge him like that. Give him a little turn. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now let's tap off. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid he's gonna fall. Tap off. Look. Don't be worried. You can do this. Don't let this is how I act when I do cake pops. I act like a freak. Like, oh my gosh, something terrible is gonna happen. This is a cake pop. It's not life or death. I just get a little dramatic. Okay. He's doing good. Other than being a sloppy dip, because it is an odd shape. Odd shapes do have sloppy dips sometimes. He came out okay. And he still has some that needs to be tapped off, because we have to put sugars on him. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to cover him with sugar. You gotta get sugars on him to give him that fuzzy bunny look, which is cute. Okay, so he survived the second dip. What we're gonna do right now, real quick, is put on the pink for the ears, which I'm afraid to do, because I'm afraid of everything. No. Get off. Okay, lay down. There, I got it on, just like that. All you're doing is just placing it on the wet chocolate. I am really afraid to sugar him. I am just up. See, even the fondant is bending. We're going to recover from this. The fondant bent a little bit, but that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. So there's the pinks. I'm going to put them down for just a second. And breathe, because we're about to sugar cover him. It could be a little stressful. I don't know that I can make a dozen of these for somebody for Easter, for, you know, my family, or for somebody to purchase. It's just, it can be very stressful. I mean, these are some fancy bunnies. All right, now, lay him down gently and start to cover him with sugar. Oh my gosh, and turn him so that he's not leaning to one side for too long. kind of give it a turn. Don't just keep piling it on one side, even though, you know, you might have a spot you missed. You want to just kind of turn it and give it space and time on each side so that it's not weighing, oopsie, what in the world? So that it's not running down this way. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. We can do this. We can do this. The back side is really running. Now I'm making a mess with my sugars. That's okay. He's going to be adorable when we're done. He really is. Alright, so now I'm just going to go and look at him. How cute is he? It's a little stressful, but it's cute. And his ears still need just a little more. Okay. Well, we didn't get any glops in our sanding sugar, and that happens to me sometimes when the candy doesn't want to dry, and you know how it is when you put it on too soon or it's just taking forever to dry, and you put on your sugars and they just come running off. Now I just kind of wiped off the bottom so that we don't have any glops at the bottom, and he turned out pretty good. He survived. I survived. Okay, so now let's go back to the chick and finish up her. Oh, my sugars are all over the table. We're going to finish up her egg, and then she will be done. So I'm going to use a toothpick to toothpick on the cracks of the shell for better control for me. All you're going to do is kind of make zigzags. Take your very runny white, which white is always so runny. I'm going to have to sit down for this because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to show you as I go what I'm doing. So I took some very thin pieces of chocolate and I start to make zigzags like a cracked shell that are going below the white and above the yellow. Kind of like a cracked shell. It's so windy today. It sounds like I'm at the shore. Okay. Just like that. Just go all the way around her body. With some zigzags. They don't have to be perfect because these guys don't crack perfectly. They're just white zigzags. I guess the chick is easier than the bunny, right? The chick is, I think the chick is cuter too. But you gotta have the Easter bunny. Okay, just some messy little zigzags for a crack. We're almost done this chick. Then the bunny, all we need to do is pop on his parts, and he's done too. If you want, for your Easter bunny, you can make a little carrot out of fondant, or maybe you have fondant carrot sprinkles in your area. I haven't seen those around here, but I've seen them online. Someone had like what looked like a carrot sprinkle to put in his hand, or maybe you make a little Easter basket. You guys know what to do. Alright, so I went all the way around with my zigzag crack. Now I'm just going to make like a crack down the middle of the front. And like you can do the same crack all the way around because it didn't just crack in the front, it's cracking all over the place. She's coming out. So I put about 4 little zigzag cracked shells around. So there is your chickie. She's ready to come out for Easter. Let's finish our Easter bunny, which is just popping on his tail. Wait a minute. Do I have a tail? Oh, man. I was going to make a tail out of fondant, so you can also use a marshmallow. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give this marshmallow a little rub. I picked up a little mini marshmallow, and I'm going to give it a rub and a roll to make it into like a, look at that, a nice squishy little tail. You can also use fondant or this little marshmallow. What we're going to do is just dab that in so that you get a good amount on. Stick it right on his behind. Stick it right on his behind. This table's cracking. Okay, look at that. There's his tail. You might have to hold it for a little bit. Squishy little tail. If you want, you could dip the tail into chocolate and cover that with nonpareils or something to make it a little fuzzier looking, or sugars. I like the separation of the tail with the Easter Bunny, so I'm not going to do that with mine. Are you going to stay? Stay. Okay. Here's the rest of him. We need his feet. There's another marshmallow, which I'm going to take the chocolate for both of his feet. I'm going to put for both of them the sticky side, because remember we cut these in half, so there's going to be a sticky side and kind of a dry side. And I'm going to put the chocolate on the sticky side. And then at the same time, I'm going to hold them both on to try and save time. I'm going to hold them both on right here. This is where his feet are. You see that? You need to move, honey. There. So we're just going to hold his feet on. This table's insane. Shh. Okay? Hold his feet on. There's his feet. Now, same thing with his hands. We're going to hold his hands on both at the same time. Take the sticky side. Put your chocolate on. There's an airplane coming. Okay. Pop his hands on. Like I said, these were both marshmallows cut in half to make his hands and his feet. Alright, his feet, because bunnies don't have hands. Look, just like that. Hold those on. Oh no! Do I have room for his tie? Oh no. Yeah, I do. Take his tie. Let's put a little chocolate on the back of his tie. The problem is with this time of year, and usually any time actually, it's very hard to hold things on that are made of chocolate because you don't want it to start to melt. So maybe you press it on and then you take a toothpick and you hold it like that so that your heat is not melting the chocolate. And that might be a little annoying, but you don't want to melt the chocolate, and you do have to hold it on because it's going to fall off. Or use your fingernail like that too, once you get it in a good spot. So all we have left to do is put on his nose and his eyes. I'm going to do his eyes next before the black decides to give up on me and it's not as runny as I need it to be. So I'm going to take him, and it's okay to do this because he's kind of laying down with his tie. Take the black. We're not giving him eyelashes. We're just going to give him 2 black little dots. Just like I did for the chick. You're going to take a very little bit of black, dab on the eyes. I don't like the look of eyes with sugars, but you know, I have to get over that. I'm not crazy about like real icing eyes either. So I put 2 eyeballs on. I'm not going to show you right now. I'm still waiting for that tie to dry. We're going to take the 2, actually maybe I can. We're going to take the 2 micro marshmallows and put it across for his nose and his whisker area. So I just took some chocolate and I made a nice line like that so that I can lay the marshmallows on top of that. Even the marshmallows are getting soft. And these aren't soft marshmallows. So he kind of looks like he has a little mustache. A little white mustache. And while that's drying, we're just going to put on the pink heart for his nose. Taking a dab again. A dab of white. If you don't have heart sprinkles, you can even use just pink candy melts melted. Just like that. Put the dab on. And then just plop the heart on. Alright, he's so cute. He's done. Oh. Alright, I'm going to let him like chill out like this for just a minute before I show you him. I'm afraid his little mustache is going to come falling off. You know, his hands could have been better positioned, but, you know, sometimes it's not always the exact way we want. So, ta-da! There's your little Easter bunny. So, thanks for watching, and I hope that right after this, I'm going to make another quick one. Maybe I'll put it up tomorrow because Easter's coming and there was something I really, really wanted to do. So hopefully you come back and watch that. Thanks. Bye.